Coach, thank you for being here. And I'd like to start off with what a great weekend we had and seeing you. But the win over UCLA came at a tremendous cost. I know that has been a big topic in Baton Rouge over the weekend with Harold Perkins.
Yeah, very difficult. The game of football can be cruel in some instances when you lose a player of Harold's caliber. You can see his right leg on that tackle got caught in the ground and unfortunately suffered a season-ending injury to his right knee. Obviously the details will follow here. Our medical team is still, putting together the final details relative to what will happen next. But suffice to say, so disappointed for the young man. He's worked so hard to put himself in a position to, continue to, be the best at his position. We've moved him around to, accentuate, the talents that he has. But now, obviously we've got to, move on and get the next man up and ready. We've had a couple of those. John Emery went down and Caden Durham, a true freshman, stepped up and has played well for us. Jacobian Gilroy, who was our only veteran defensive lineman, went down, and we brought in another true freshman, and Ahmad Bro, and we're going to have to do that again here. So, unfortunately, it's the nature of the college football landscape, football in general. But we'll move on and get ready for South Alabama.
And you mentioned those players, and it seems like these things happen. And no injury is good, Coach. It seems like maybe when one happens late, it's a little bit easier to understand. But when they happen this early in the season, we as fans can't understand it, and we're in shock. But as well as you are, but you still have to figure out a way to replace these people. It's not easy to. While we talk about it, you're finding solutions, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, look, we could obviously cry all we want about it, but the reality of it is that, the other 10 players are looking for what are the solutions that the coaches have for us to move on and get ready for the next opponent. We've got a huge game against South Alabama. This is a good football team. And so we feel terrible for Harold and him and his family and what he's done for our program. And, we wrap our arms around him immediately after so he knows how much we care about him. But then we've got to move on to the next phase of this, and that is getting a football team ready to play in just 6 days. So that's the tough part about this, right? I mean, you just keep moving. They don't give you a chance to, sit around and think about it for, 48, 72 hours. And, we've got a plan in place. That's why you have to develop your roster. That's why you have to build, these guys into a position where they are ready to step in and help you win football games.
I want to talk about something that has nothing to do with the actual football field, but it does involve the football field. And that was finally, I think you have a night game coming up this weekend. But last Saturday in Baton Rouge, and I was only in direct sunlight until about noon. I really don't know how anyone could have withstood that sun Saturday. And I know that I'm speaking of fans, but on the field, how do you cope with that? Just even as a coach, and you don't have a helmet and shoulder pads on.
Yeah. Fair-haired guy from Boston, Massachusetts, who's been in the Midwest all his life. I was thinking about the days where, I had to be bundled up in South Bend and thought those were really good days again. That must be bad when it's that hot. But, those are dangerous conditions. And, I know Scott Woodward, our athletic director, is in contact with, those that make these decisions. And it's tough. I get it. Everybody is looking at schedules and how to do it. I know the state of Arizona has a law in place in the month of September, I believe, that you can't play a game before 6 o'clock. Maybe there's something that can be done there, but it was dangerous conditions. There's no doubt. And for those that sat on the visiting sideline, you could see that clearly they weren't in the game because at halftime, they couldn't stay in the conditions that they were in. I thought the players did an incredible job. Both the nutritionists, the athletic trainers, everybody associated with getting those football teams in a good place. It did not affect the young men that were on the field, and that says a lot about the conditioning and training of those young men. But if you were sitting in those stands, it was real and it was dangerous.
Yeah, and maybe because I was down there and feeling it, I can connect with it more than had I been watching on television, Coach. But the programs make a lot of money. We know that. There's hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, overall. But you alluded to what the situation with Scott. But what, if anything, can you do? And I know I'm asking you the same question, but it just doesn't seem right, especially for anyone, for players or fans.
Yeah, again, I think you got to look at is there some kind of legislation that each state says, look, you can't play in the month of September before a certain hour in the day. I mean, I think Arizona has that on the books. Can we do that in Louisiana? I'm not here. Those are for the administration to make those decisions. But I think you and I both being there, seeing it and feeling it firsthand, it's a conversation that's certainly going to have to take place at a much more serious level. This is not now just about, well, that was uncomfortable. No, this was serious. And so I think that everybody that's been associated with this game this weekend is going to have a serious conversation.
Well, Coach, let's talk about a brighter note, and that was Garrett Nussmeier. Certainly, your quarterback continues to lead. I believe we heard from him in the post game once again.
We can be a great football team. You beat a team that played well today. If you don't play well, you can't beat that team. You played well today, you won the game. So we got to give out a game ball today. We got to give out a game ball today. And when you orchestrate 2 drives of 90-plus yards, and during that time there were 2 national championship football teams that never did that, the guy that's running the show has got to be central to that, and he's got to be the player of the game. And that's Garrett Nussmeier.
I don't know. I don't know him like you do, of course, but he looked almost embarrassed to get the game ball and to get the adulation from the head coach.
Coach's son, very humble. I think he's been brought up in this environment, right? And so, but I would be, remiss to say that, a lot of times, he's deflected a lot of the praise. And sometimes, Paul, it's important that you can't always deflect the praise. You've got to take some of it as well. And he deserves it. He's currently doing some things that have not been done here. And we've had some pretty good quarterbacks. Matter of fact, 2 of them are playing tonight against each other, 2 Heisman Trophy winners. So, he's a guy that at this position, is playing at such a high level and deservingly so. He was the offensive player of the week as well. So good for Garrett. And, he continues to drive our football team on the offensive side of the ball.
And I want to end on that because it is rare that a university will get a stage in front of 15 to 20 some odd million people as LSU will tonight with Joe Burrow and Jaden. I realize you got to get ready for a game. You may be able to peek at it, but just in terms of what tonight will mean to your football program.
Well, listen, it doesn't hurt in recruiting quarterbacks. That's for certain. It does give you that ability to say, look, if you want to be that next guy, right, that next potential Heisman Trophy winner, we can develop them here at LSU. And nothing speaks to it better than squaring off on Monday Night Football. So just a great audience, great opportunity for us to show 2 great young men as well in terms of what they've been able to do, both on the field and off the field.
Well, Coach, thank you. Congratulations again. Sorry so much about the Harold Perkins situation, but we will be watching Saturday night and hope to see you right here next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much. Brian Kelly joining us from Baton Rouge. A lot happening in those quarters. We'll take a short break, and we're back after this.